A wonderful, good new day to you. Great that you're here. This is day 7 of the Privacy Week. We're on the final straight. And this was new to me too. Lots of society, technology, privacy. It was a manifold program. And if you see the schedule, you'll get more of all of these. So there's lots to discover. So good that you've tuned in. And if you see the schedule, there's more to come. So let's just dip in straight away. And the first talk is going to be interesting. There is a translation. This talk will be in German. So we are interpreting into English. And I assume that you've found us already. When you're hearing this, you necessarily have. Your interpreters today are Sebelis and Kati, and we hope we'll provide a good interpretation. And you can also participate. There is a button on the mainstream page, streaming.privacyweek.at, where you can leave your questions, and feel free to leave them in English, even if the talk is in German. Because, of course, speak enough English, and I think they will answer them in English as well. We can't interpret the Q&A in the breakout rooms, but you can participate. And you can always use the much beloved Fediverse. We have hashtags PW20 and PW20 online are both in use. Now, we've initialized the next talk, I think. Huge thanks to CCC Vienna and all the helping hands who are supporting to keep the technology around us running, to make the recordings, to get the bytes to the internet all the way onto your device. People that look after the speakers. There's so much teamwork involved and so much good spirits happening. And there's another huge thank from me. Yeah, well, and of course you can try to applaud the nurses. You've seen this, but you can actually do something as well. You can get active. Because, well, it will be summer again, it will be winter again. You can see me wearing this Privacy Week t-shirt. So you can join the team, or if you just think this was nice, we had 7 days of full effect in a very relaxed way and enjoyed it, then you can just go to the /spenden page. That's German for donations, and leave some money there. And those that organized and did the work will be very happy to see that. So try this. Just write a thank you email. I'm not expecting this now, but I'm not a core member of the group, but if they receive an email just telling them how you liked it, with perhaps a few surprising details of what you saw and how you liked it, that would be appreciated, I'm sure. And that way, we're now going to start into the next talk, Hacker Cooperative as a Platform. Businesses close to chaos. Yeah, we know a lot about this chaos thing, of course. And we've got 2 people with a mission. They've been going around and telling everyone, we have to found a cooperative, IU and L3D. And we've seen how they kept getting more people involved and interested and telling them that this is the way we need to go. Many of you will know Ayuvo from Cbase or from C3D2, or the WTF, that is the work cooperative of techno friends. And L3D is a data traveler from the region of Lake Constance in the south of Germany, the very south. And that is another institution. And if this cooperative is going to work close to the way the Waffle Operations Center works, it will be great. And with that, I'll hand over and look forward to what's, I think you'll be giving us a status update to tell us where the journey is going. So go on with it. You and L3D. Thank you. Cheers, L3D. We have something to celebrate. Yes, cheers. We've made it. We have more than 120 cooperative members that are with us for the rocket launch for the WTF cooperative. The deadline passed at midnight last night, and many nerds quickly filled out the forms, and I've just sent the email for the progress. Due to the success, we've extended the deadline until the 15th, but then we'll have to pause with new members because we'll have to get the formalities done to actually become a legal cooperative by the start of the new year. Okay, we'll give an update and give a bit and celebrate a little. It will not be a very serious talk. There'll be some refreshments and appropriate to the time of day. We will be, you've heard about the usual channels, and you will be finding us in the break room after the talk, as always, at ParivacyWeek. And VIBITXYZ is the name, which sounds complicated. VEBIT.xyz, the website. I've celebrated Halloween online with Seabase, a bit knackered. Did you get any more news? Well, not directly at midnight, because we surpassed the 100 a few days before that. But it feels very exciting. We managed to reach the numbers we needed to reach, but the rocket hasn't launched yet. We have to get it to launch. It's not flying yet, and there's a lot still to do. For those that don't know yet, this is a very old project, actually. You can become an archaeologist on the topic at media.cc.de. I think my first talk was at Datenspuren, Data Traces 2016. For a long time, it was the project of the kind where someone should. And some people know that from my studies, I am an economist, and I have been in business. And these questions, how about tax and founding a company, and how does that work? And the basic problem was and still is that as the common nerd, you like updating your family's hardware, not just over Christmas, but for all kinds of people around you. You take care of a few websites, do all kinds of stuff, update routers, and for all those efforts, you should be able to receive money. But to write just 2 or 3 bills a year, is it worth registering or even founding a company? I would advise not. So you go to that guy who has a small IT backyard company, or can write a bill, or someone. So that's not really satisfactory. So we thought, why can't we found an entity that you can enter and exit as you need for writing bills, running events, promoting startup ideas and pursuing them, and so on. And in the last few years, this idea has grown, and more people have joined us. And you know how it is in Germany, and because of things like money laundering laws, to collect money for something and put it on a private account leads into problems. The tax authorities will be after you, asking what this is going to be. So we founded a registered association in Dresden with 12 or 13 nerds. The association needed a name, and we chose a name called VBIT, Verein for New Activities in Information Technology. Verein is German for association, very usual term. And then someone had the idea that VEB space IT would be IT as an enterprise owned by the people, which used to be the name in East Germany. So the only purpose of that association was to found this cooperative, and that is quite an effort. And that's why every member had to pay 100 euros upfront just to cover the costs of doing all the formalities for founding a cooperative. That actually costs you a 5-digit amount. And we then kept developing and doing, and we had a Corona-safe camp. And on that camp, we were could you have thought it, 23 people, and we got the stage where it's just a chicken and egg problem. We've done all the research, we've written the texts, founded working groups and whatever, found a name, a nice logo that you see, and all we are now still, all we now have to do, we can only do once we're sure that the cooperative has been properly founded. Speak with your employers about a side job, maybe people translocating their activities into the cooperative, setting up roles such as head of and having people fill those roles. And this summer at our summit, we decided, okay, we'll go ahead with founding and we'll set ourselves a deadline. And up to then, we'll have to promise to reach 100 people that will sign up and pay and buy the shares, not in the normal sense. And we've managed that, and we can now start. And for that, we are raising a glass. Cheers. Okay. Now you could wonder what we are about to do, which are exciting and which very boring normal things. We have a podcast with 12 episodes so far at vebit.xyz/podcast. I assume that will be in German. We have a flyer, we have a Mastodon account, and apart from that, we have a beautiful weaved page, and we've collected some information. You can ask us questions. We do a regular Ask Us Anything on a Blue Button server, so there are lots of opportunities, and we even reply to mails and answer phone calls. And if you're listening live, you can ask us questions right now doing the PrivacyWeek.at facilities, and of course we'll be in the breakout room raising another mate and answering more questions. And every Wednesday, which you will find on Mastodon, every Wednesday at 9 p.m. German time, there's a regular meeting for those interested. Right. We had this nice slide of about what we all want to do, and let's use that to guide us in the talk. What is the purpose of it all? The basic idea is, as I said, that as a nerd, you sometimes need a company in the background for very banal things. Running an event, and I would like to have someone that can take liability, someone that can earn money legally and spend it as well, someone that could import a container, get it through customs, because when you're not a business, it's actually a catastrophe to manage that. We to support the FOSS community, and many people don't know that projects that want to get software forward and run an event once a year and have sponsors, there's a lot of background work involved. So that's about something that you have 3 or 4 times a year. And these are the kinds of things that you can organize through us. And investing money? Well, we're not a bank, and we are somewhat reticent when it comes to investment activities, but ideas that you have, you may realize in our framework. So if you want to build a rocket and have everyone compute 500,000 units, you could do that through us perhaps. And it's also about taking precautions. You could start a model in the cooperative and then maybe take it out as a separate business later. All the kinds of things that you can't manage on your own. If you're a freelance software developer and would like to just bid for a commission at authority X or company Z, normally as an individual you're not allowed to do that, but a large cooperative can. You could find 2 or 3 partners to burden the load and still stay profitable, which is what you want. So these are the basic functions that we thought about. And one function that you haven't mentioned is collecting donations, which we also want to do. Whether you're a FOSS project or a podcaster, and you don't want the hassle of bureaucracy, but would like to collect funds, you wonder about dealing with the tax authorities, you could ask the cooperative and maybe join that with the imprint service perhaps or something. So if you're a member, you can use our infrastructure as well, which includes an office. And if you're a small podcaster and haven't asked people for donations yet, because you would have to explain to the tax authorities what you've earned, and with these small or medium amounts that you may get, it's not worth the effort. So you could call for donations to the cooperative and maybe get something back if it's just a small amount. And of course, you could do things for the cooperative and receive a bill from the cooperative and become an employee part-time perhaps, which could save you a lot of money, effort. And there is a solidarity element. We have an amount that we collect regularly, and about 23% goes into a pot that funds common activities. But of course, the administrative cost share is rather higher at the start of the whole thing. We need 1 or 2 more years to reach a size with about 200 people perhaps, and the corresponding funds, until we can have a reasonable result in terms of balance. But now we are 125 people, and we've had a number of paid up members, so it's going forward, and we manage the administrative burden. We have a core team, by the way. Everyone that wants to become a member has 2 options. We have an internal forum where you can click some work packages, find out this or that, manage this press event. But we have a core team of people that do more. And there is a weekly mumble for the core team onboarding. So you have to write up what you are and what you can do and what manpower or person power you can contribute. And then we'd start, and you can then start worrying about the actual work and the actual content. And many people have done that. We wouldn't have reached the stage we have reached otherwise. We have postcards, more postcards.
And also the artists and everyone else is in a big job. We're getting emails where people are asking us if the not existing thing of existence is fine in our cooperative. Well, what are you doing actually? Well, it's obviously perfect if you're doing stuff that's perfect for a cooperative. If you have basic knowledge about stuff, about computers, that's perfect for us. Maybe a little bit of crypto as well. That's what we're focusing on as well. One of the main things you have to figure is the usage of GPG to encrypt emails. But that's not a hurdle we set to get you away from this cooperative, but to establish a good communication. If you don't have any experience in this, maybe 2020 is a good moment to start with this. If you need help with it, you can also write us unencrypted emails and we can put you on the safe side and we teach you how to do that and how to encrypt emails. Yeah, well, this is all about money. So there's always people in this hacker cooperative, they're not positive about this hacker cooperative, so we have to have some safety precautions. And this might seem a little paranoid at times, but these are decisions we had to make. We had to make for this project, and this is also really important for this project, not only for the idealists, but also for the people who are behind this project. And this is what we take care of. About 2 weeks ago, we sent postcards and email and stickers to a wide variety of German hackerspaces. Because of Corona, this is not always easy to receive snail mail, but thanks for all the thank you emails. If you need propaganda material, feel free to contact us, anmeldung@febit.xyz, and you can be helped. And we also have a few Corona masks. It's just about 30 or 40. We send them to you via donation. And this cooperative, you can carry around the cooperative in society. Well, that's about it in the advertisement. Do we have any questions, maybe? Yeah, we have questions for you. That's perfect. I'm switching to the different screen. Well, does this also work cross-border, for example, with members in a DACH? This are questions we get quite often. We are also having people from other German-speaking countries. Of course, you can be a non-German member in this German cooperative. If you want to be employed in this cooperative, you should be EU citizen, and it might get complicated with the German financial authorities sometimes. But if you want to be member or you want to take part in this cooperative or want to make business with them, you can also be from Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and other countries in the EU. Maybe you should check the regulations if you want to work for us, for example. Do you also take Monero? Do you take crypto? Do you take Monero? We have people who are pretty well connected in the crypto area, so yeah, we can give you the contact to this person, and they would make euros out of your Monero. Both the VBIT and the WTF will take donations with cryptocurrency. Let's go here. Maybe there's something in the chat right now. That's about it, basically. These are the questions I got, but I have one for you. Well, you said if you want to join our pitch, if you're a freelancer, you can just do it. Can you tell me about the workflow? So I guess, well, I have this job. Do you want to do it? Maybe I'm not already a member with your cooperative. How can I go about, and how can I use this cooperative for me? Well, taking the typical case, with the open open tender. The local nerd who also works for local hackerspaces, for the websites, he writes that the local government needs a completely new web interface for their systems. For example, videos and social media and everything else. Well, money involved would be like 100,000 euros. And the nerd thinks, okay, 80% of this I can do. And I know these people, but I'm not able to involve myself because I'm just one person and not a company. And usually in these tenders, it's a rule that if you want to bid, you have to have a little bit of liquidity and everything in your company. And if you're a freelancer, you're basically taken out of the system. Depending on the time frame, you can post this in our forum. There's this job, for example, in this tender. I have to do this. This is the money involved, and who can help me with this? I need a backup, so I can raise the buzz factor. So, for example, I need a designer who helps me designing the front end, who has experience with this, and then you collect those people. And you're using the form, and I want to take part in this tender in the name of the WTF, and we're checking this if it's okay or not. And you also have to have financial safeties at some point. Well, little nerd, you have to at least add a little money so we can make sure you're really meaning it. And then the leading persons write a paper that the WTF allows you to do this, and you sign another form with the members of the cooperative, who see the cooperative as their employer, and they do it. And in the end, we write the bill, and the cooperative that's doing it, they do all the bureaucracy stuff. And there's the entropy payment, and everyone's happy. Nerds can do the stuff they want to, and they can just ditch all that bureaucracy shit.
And this is also possible in the short term. And if people just band together and say we'll do something, and the risk management, is that then, well, there are various options. A commission such as the one we've described that has a moderate economic risk doesn't need many preconditions, but maybe the heads will say that, well, could we make losses of a few thousand in this or that amount of time? Could you prove to us that you have those funds and you could replace the loss? Or maybe three nerds have a startup together, and if you have to found a certain legal form, a legal entity, it may not be necessary at the very start. So the three of them could just pay into the cooperative and use that to secure their startup. And if there is an external investor, that these people will not, of course, be happy with just buying into the cooperative. So then something would have to be founded externally. So we will enable the start, the very start, but then it should go the very normal way. And I have to say also, sometimes good ideas can actually turn out to be shitty ideas if you look at them more closely, and that we would have to say too. Yeah, the German cooperative as an entity is different to the Austrian form, I think. Is one of the question. Is a minimum amount defined in Austria? Founding costs are 100,000 euro plus notary costs. only worth it from 30 employees on. And there is a revision association you have to join. Well, that gets us into the depths of cooperative law. And the differences to Austria and Switzerland, yes. Cooperative law in the German-speaking countries differs in nuances. The German law was reformed about 20 years ago and things were made easier. The Austrian, not so much, but in Germany, the effort is considerable too, which is why we needed so much time. And we had to collect quite a lot of money just to pay the initial fees. So the 10,000 of notary costs and association fees, because you have to join an association of cooperatives and they have to confirm that you are allowed to get funded, and it's only when you're registered in their register can you actually get active. So that's not too different from Austria, and we did all these preparations and we have an association of cooperatives that is ready to take us, and in the next 6 weeks we have to hand in a certain stack of paper, including the ID cards of the board members. Will all be checked, and hopefully before Christmas we will have the necessary permissions, and we intend to start at least formally on the 2nd of January. There are now no guarantees. It could be the 1st of February as well if it just takes longer with the bureaucracy. But that's why we had the deadline last night, because we wouldn't have had enough time otherwise. In times of Corona, it will be the case that the 3 founders will have to hand in a Corona-conforming document about the founding event, and then everyone that has signed up will then join the next day. And I had a feedback. If I said 100 euros by mistake, I meant 100,000 euros. And also the question, what does it look like when you just say, okay, let's join in, let's take part? Do you feel that regarding the current situation, are you under a lot of pressure, or are there enough people that have this altruist attitude and that say, okay, let's throw a bit of money at this idea and build a fast boat for serious times? Well, we have about everything, right? L3D. We have, we have people that have a clear use case in mind. Let's say I have a few bills and I have a few companies to interact with, and the effort is too high and I would like to get rid of all that effort. It's not worth the hassle. I need a better solution. And other people say, oh, fantastic, that it just could work. And then there are people that say, well, my private address on a website, I don't really like that. Could you perhaps delete that? And can I just be listed as anonymous member? And we have freelancers that want to do serious business via the cooperative. Yes, we have everything from start up and take my money to concrete use cases, and people are not too stingy in terms of money. People have signed up for shares of 1,000 euros. The minimum share is 100, and you can buy at most 100 shares of 100 each. And people have come up to the region of 1,000, so around 10. People are willing to put their money on the table. And we were thinking that we would about 5 shares of 100 euros each from each regular member. And that is not money that will be spent for costs. This will be the capital that the cooperative has to actually be able to operate. And that could be refunded if you die, for example, and your heirs want to call in the money. And yes, we could list what it takes to join up. So there are the shares, which is refundable capital that you pay in, and you can increase your share, or you can dissolve it. If you want to exit the cooperative, you will receive it back at the end of the tax year, pending pending an audit. And then there is the annual membership fee, which we have set to 100 euros. And we will evaluate that once we have some experience with the way our rocket flies. And we will be looking to lower that annual fee as business is coming in and is established through the cooperative. And there is the one-time upfront fee of 100 euros to contribute to the funding effort, to the founding effort. And that is the only amount that you have to pay up straight away. The money that you sign up for, you can pay in installments next year. And we have students that say, I would like to sign up for 500 euros, but in installments of 50, please. That is possible. And there are 2 corrections coming in. I have to correct my own correction. So it is 100 euros, not 100,000 euros per share. Some large amounts, some small amounts, but it's a small amount for many people. And when people ask me, why don't you want to start before you have 100 signed up members, I then respond, well, I want 200 because that gets us a network effect, and not everything goes well, of course. And you have to have a certain strength. If you need money for a reason, or you want to exercise solidarity for a very good idea, that would be much easier if we need some 5,000 euros extra. With 200 members, it would be more easy to find people that would put the money into the hat instead of just having 30.
Well, you can open a cooperative with just 20 people, but that doesn't really make sense. You need a certain size without being too impossible to oversee everything. What would be the ideal number? Yeah, maybe like 500 members. That would be like too much, and we would have to create hierarchies and structures and everything. Okay, so that's an interesting question. Someone had the remark that this logo we had in the background reminds me of the Raiffeisen logo. Was that supposed to be like that, or was it just like a happy little accident? Well, it's 2 unicorns. And I know this orange and blue that in Germany, that used to be the colors at the Volks and Raiffeisen banks. They had this typical color scheme. We're not really set to these colors. We could also have like orange and gray. Well, this Raiffeisen logo, these are not horses. It's the cross in the roof. And we chose unicorns. Well, we realized this, but in the end, we don't want to. Well, we have them. If those Raiffeisen guys want to sue us, well, it's also a little ad for us, basically. I'm reminded about the unicorns on the last camp. Close to the rocket, there were illuminated unicorns. It had the same shape, and I'm checking if there's any questions. No, there's no further questions, it seems. Yeah, well, there's one question that's more like a comment for the future and your success. Aren't you afraid of a monopoly watches? Yes, we are. Of course we are. And we need a certain number of people and a certain amount of money. We talked about logos and everything. We can't really prevent this. We can't really prevent us from being sued. We have to expect this. And you can't get this working with a simple company. and we don't want to spend money on lawyers. But we're not simply stepping back on this because everyone is thinking that you can get money from us. We're not a bunch of idiots, basically. If you have a hacker company with a high number of money in it, we're pretty sure it's not all about this little office, but that's completely clear. We're not expecting no conflicts to happen, and of course there will be people who don't like this, and we know this with other cooperatives who work in different areas. This is simply the case. If you are successful, you have people being jealous. Well, explain this for me. If you have monopoly watches, well, if you have a business model where people can live on, and no one really tells them it's not too good, it could be possible that other companies don't want us to step in and to take away customers from them. So what are they doing? They are engaging their local lawyers and trying to check if everything's legal, what this cooperative is doing. And for example, sue them to try to see if this cooperative is worthy enough. And it's much easier. And if in the future I have 500 members, we are being sued and we need 50,000 euros for good lawyers. Well, it's about 100 euros per person, and many people will take care of this, and we can raise the money for this. Yeah, these people like Ravenbread, for example. Well, I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean this. But it's all about business ethics. It's a jungle outside. And if you have, if you want to have offer IT services, and there's big companies working on this, of course you're getting into trouble. Well, I'm really excited how SAP connections work there. Well, I'm through with the questions, and we still have like 5 minutes or 3 maybe. Yeah, we have time, but we don't have any questions. So that doesn't matter. We can just have a drink again and have telewaffles. A3D is there, and he's the waffle master. I'm Cola Light addicted. So well, but congratulations from my side that you made this milestone, and you actually do have a waffle there. And who goes out of the house without a waffle? Well, one question, yeah. Isn't the legal background in Germany changed when it comes to these special lawyers? Well, they're trying to do this for a few years now, but it's not only about the regular copyright infringement, but there's also other cheap tricks. It's important that the leading people have an eye on this, so that people can't ruin this cooperative in the beginning. So we don't fail already if we have like a small major fuck up in the beginning. Well, we are asking you if you have questions that are more personal, that don't work for this official stream. Afterwards, we'll have this breakout room where we can go on talking. And on the other hand, we're also available using the email, where we can discuss topics on a rather personal level. Well, the mail is on our website, and we also release stuff on Mastodon, where we offer an Ask Us Anything with a link to the BBB, and that's a BBB conference where you can ask us anything. So there's also a JurFix where you can ask questions, and you can get them answered by other cooperative members. same channel every Wednesday in the evening. Yeah, well, that was the word for the Sunday. Well, that was basically. Oh, there's a question. Another question. Well, can I apply as a leading person? Yeah, of course you can. Yes. We don't have any all positions filled. If you want to be a board member, and if you are, for example, a freelancer in the IT area, you can drop us a line. Well, I'd say this is a yes. Well, thank you too. Thanks, and people interested, you can listen to the podcast where you explain all the steps you took. And well, for this, we want to thank you, L3D and Ayuvo from the Hacker Corporation. It was a great pleasure